Today we're putting together the Ransacked Hobbit hole. I've already gone ahead and attached it to its mat board base. So it folds flat there, and get the parts. This is what the parts will look like. Front, back. This is to have a dried out ballpoint pen. This is one that I dried out and wrapped in a bunch of wire so I wouldn't use it accidentally. And just go from the blue arrow to the next blue arrow. Score along all the fold points. With this piece you want to score down to the middle. All of these will have faint brown lines where you should be scoring, in case you're wondering the exact spot. And so if you see a space like this where the score just kind of goes off the edge of the page, there's no blue triangle on the other side, just go ahead and score out the other side. With this one, in order to fit everything on one page, some of the things are pretty close to the edge, but shouldn't be too confusing, I hope. Actually, yeah. Okay, so once you've scored along all of these score lines, you're going to head and cut everything out. And so just go ahead and cut everything out. Your X-Acto knife. We want to cut out all the pure white space. And that includes these sort of interior white spaces where you'll be creating windows and doors. And don't worry if your cuts aren't exactly along the lines, as long as you cut everything out. This is, again, a ruined halfling hole, so really anything you do to mess it up will only make it look more ruined. As I was designing this, I was thinking, like, what if, what could have caused this? And usually my mind strayed to, like a giant or a troll or even a dragon sort of smashing this poor little halfling hole to bits. Which is unfortunate for the residents. But I think it will provide a more entertaining piece of scenery this way. the main piece. You're going to want to make sure that you cut out these little white spaces here. Just that little hole in this little slot, so that you can make everything work the way it should work. And you could cut this with scissors, I guess, if you wanted, but found that the X-Acto knife gives you a little more freedom. All right. Alright, so we cut out all of the parts. And as you cut, you'll be surprised that you're not done yet, because I've packed a ton of parts onto this one page. And do not miss this this little part here. It's a big deal. Or this little part here. These two parts are what is going to attach your string to the top and to the base. And that string is what makes it so that this pop-up setting can fold down properly and not extend beyond borders of the base. Okay, so here's the base. We're going to glue down these. We're going to go in order, so we got part 1. Part 1 gets folded in 5 different places. You're going to want to fold it so it can go down like an M. And we glue tab 1 to B1 first. Don't want too much glue on there. Too much glue and it will never dry. Match up the base textures, and there's that spot. 1 to B2. Again, match up the base textures on the plants. The plant leaves should all line up. That's good. And then we want to glue these internal structures. So 4 to 5. Glue that spot first. And then 4 to B and 5 to B. Go inside of the house here. And again, you want to match up the floor textures as best you can on that part. Fold that flat to make sure it works. And we shouldn't expect this piece to pop down yet on its own. Right now, if you fold it up, it'll probably pop out like this, and that's why we're going to attach the string to make sure that when this piece pops up, it pulls down instead, stays contained within the borders of the base. So we're going to do the string part right now. Grab your piece of string. And you can really use just about any type of string on this. Just using this kite string type of stuff. And you got your part 8. And you got 8 to 8 on the inside. Those are the parts you want to glue together, not the side that only has one label. Wrap it around once, glue it together, hold for 10 seconds or so. Then what you want to do is measure the distance of the rope up to the top of the roof of the structure. And really, I mean, you can have a little bit of leeway there. So before you glue part 7 to 7, you want to insert your string up through this tiny hole that you cut, that tiny white circle, and your string comes through there. It's a lot like threading a needle, which is to say it's annoying and difficult to get right. So eventually you'll get the string through. You might want to go ahead and glue down 8 to base, that spot, just to keep that down. Line up the floor textures so that everything looks pretty there. So you've got 8 to base glued down here, and you've got 7, part number 7. You're going to glue the 7 to 7 around the string. Okay? Close that up. Maybe wrap it around twice before you finalize your gluing. Make sure you're not pulling up part 8. And it's okay if the string has a little bit of slack. It's not really going to make a difference. Okay, so as we let that dry, we're going to glue together this part 9, which we fold to make a zigzag shape, and that gets glued inside to make us a short table attached to this wall and to the floor here. And you again match up the floor textures on the inside. You can see how it makes this this little table inside that attaches to the wall. Alright, these have had a little bit of time to dry. You can cut off some of the extra string from part 7, and matching up the textures, glue down part 7 to part 1 there on the roof. Textures should line up nicely, and the string should look like that. You can see the string on there. That is what it looks like, and that is what the table looks like to the other side from part 6. Okay, now we're gluing down parts 2 and 3. They're relatively simple Actually, whoa. Before we do that, part 6 and 10, okay? So that other one was part 9. Yikes. Don't get those confused. And this is part 6. What you're going to want to do is insert this chimney, glue this part down right in the middle of the fireplace pit there. You have this nice little chimney stack that comes out of the top. Now we're gluing down parts 2 and 1. So 2 to be 1. Goes here. Now it looks like at some point this piece has come up a little bit. I'm going to re-glue that. And then 3 to be 1 and 3 to be 2. So this is part 3. We're gluing it down. So that everything lines up perfectly. Okay. And that is the Ransacked Hobbit hole. Halfling hole, sorry. It's not a Hobbit hole. That would be possible copyright, something or another. It's a Halfling hole. No copyright attached. Well, this is copyrighted by me, because I'm the artist. But not by some movie studio. J.R. Tolkien estate. So, let's go ahead and fold it flat, see if it works. It does work. Pops back up. This part wasn't dry. I'm going to put that back down. You may get anxious. You may start folding things before they're dry. That is okay. I'm sure professionals do that all the time. I do. Anyway, so the Ransacked Halfling hole is ready to be disputed territory.